Hello. So, I am just coming back from yoga, and I feel good. I'm kind of walking quickly home because I have other things to do. But I hadn't been back to yoga for a while, and I was not nervous, but okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about with yoga is that. So I'm getting very distracted. Is that okay? Calm down. Relax. All right. Is that I'm very self-conscious about something right now. I'm going to focus on something else though, right? I'm going to focus on what I'm saying. All right. So it's Hatha Yoga, which is a standing series or a series of postures. Half of them are standing, half of them you're on the floor. And sometimes, like the standing postures, you get into them and you stay there for a little bit, and make micro adjustments or whatever. And I found last time I sort of, one of the last sessions I went to before I hurt my back a few weeks ago, was that this video is not turning out well. Okay. Was that if I was focusing on what I was not supposed to be doing, I'd fall over. Thanks, Tony. So if I was in, like, let's say, like, what's the bow? I forget what it's called, but it's this one where you're like on one leg and you've got your foot in one of your hands and it's up behind your head and like all stuff like bow posture, something like that. And so you're balancing. It's a lot of balance, and my balance isn't great. And if I were thinking like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, I would fall over. But if instead I think about what I should be doing and what it should look like, and I feel that in my body, I do it. It's really, really kind of amazing. And it's a lot of stuff in yoga is a very good parallel for the rest of your life, right? So if I know that I can do it, if I see what I'm supposed to be doing in my head and I visualize it, and I think, okay, this is what my leg is supposed to be doing, this is what, my hip is supposed to be, like I have to lower down my hip here, and rather than like, don't fall. If you say don't fall, you're gonna fall, right? But conversely, it works the same way. If you say, lift up your leg here, or, straighten your knee, that sort of stuff. Do I go down here or do I go down here? So that is something that I think we can all learn from. And this morning, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. So I have trouble sometimes. I'm working on this trouble getting up in the morning. Mornings are the worst especially like when in my sort of depressive state. Mornings are the worst for me. Like I have a real hard time seeing the point of getting up. And even when I'm okay, it's still hard for me. So I've been struggling with that the past several weeks, and this morning I knew I had to go to yoga. I had reserved the spot in the class, so I knew the teacher would be waiting for me, and so it kind of gives me more impetus to get up and go. So this morning, instead of being like, I don't want to get up, this is pointless, like I instead said to myself, I know this is kind of obvious, but the minute I thought I don't want to get up, it was just like sorry, I'm going past a bunch of people and they're looking at me. So the minute I felt like I don't want to get up, my mind was just like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're getting up. That's not a choice. And I just cut that off, which is like word decision, right? When you make a decision, I'm really starting to understand what is meant by when they say like decision comes from the Latin word to cut off, right? You cut off the other options. Like they don't exist anymore. They're not an option. And that's what a decision is. And I think that's something I was not quite comprehending for a while, that when you make a decision, the other options are not there anymore. And I think that's kept me stuck a lot, because I've always had, not always, that's not true, for a long time, I've had difficulty making a decision and believing it was the correct one, and so sticking with it. But if you look at it as there's no other option, you make the decision and all options are cut off, then it's easier to actually do it. Believe it or not. So yeah, my nose is getting, excuse me. So yeah, those are some lessons for today. 1, make the decision. Don't allow other things to interrupt it, to make it, like that's it. You make the decision. There are no other options, and you tell your brain that. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to go. Tough. I just put on some upbeat music, got myself psyched up, and I went to yoga. And then in yoga, as long as if you're thinking about what you shouldn't be doing, like the things like don't move your head like that, don't fall over, don't shift your weight here, that's what you're gonna do. Whereas if you think, okay, like tighten your abs a little bit more and straighten your leg and, reach higher and all this stuff, the stuff that is will make you successful. If you think about that, rather than the stuff that's going to screw you over or make you fall down, then that's what you do. It might not be perfect, but it's what you do. So that is my thought for right now. Thoughts. Yes. Thank you guys. I am very grateful that I had the realization about decision making. I'm very